What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the LTQ Wrestling Podcast. We have Crown Jewel next weekend, which I've never really been the biggest Crown Jewel fan. It's kind of just been really just they're doing it because they're getting paid a lot of money from the Saudi Arabia, and that's the only reason. So, Tears, how are we feeling about Crown Jewel? Are you really a big fan of this event overall, and how are
Nah,
we feeling?
no. It's just an event for me that just happens. Like, you'll have like once every 3 events, something important happens. Like when the Fiend beat Rollins for the Universal belts. No, yes, that didn't
They
happen
did
at
they did
Crown
one
Jewel.
match at Crown. I don't know if it was at a Saudi Arabia show for sure. Yeah.
I think they did the same thing for Goldberg and the Fiend at Saudi. I could be wrong. Could be right. I didn't doubt it. But other than that, I can't think of anything else that has ever happened at Saudi.
Nah, not really too much, especially during the Vince era. It was just like a bunch of random stuff going on. I mean, I remember the 50-man Royal Rumble they had and Undertaker versus Goldberg. That's a match I think both those guys and a lot of fans want to forget about. We had DX against the Brothers of Destruction. That was just a complete mess. Like, there's been a lot of moments that are remembered
I
for the
believe that
bad. Not, oh, go ahead.
was at the Australian Super Show, not the Saudi one.
Yeah, it might have been. Yeah, so apologies if I got that wrong. So let's get into it. Not really. I mean, there's some matches on this card that could be good. I don't really know how important a lot of them are that are not non-title matches, but let's start off with Liv Morgan. I almost said Niv Morgan. I don't know why I almost said that, but Liv Morgan against Nia Jax for the Crown Jewel Women's Championship. So, Tears, who do you have winning? Do you see a potential Tiffany Stratton cash in? What do you think about this?
Oh god. So just to clarify before we get further with this, I do not think these like crown jewel titles mean anything. Like they just exist to exist. So I really have a like foggy opinion about this. I would like to say Liv because she's doing more right now. But once again, like I said earlier, the Saudi show doesn't mean anything. So I could see them giving them the Nia Jax mostly because she is both the women's champion and the queen of the ring. So I can probably see them doing that to just try to find something that can resonate with the fans to make her feel important besides just being champion. Um, Plus, I genuinely can't imagine there be. Well, I guess Judgment Day can help Liv beat Nia. Now that I say that out loud, I can kind of see that being the thing. So I guess I'll say Liv Morgan, but purely because of interference.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with Tears. Like, Liv has a lot of momentum right now. And they kind of need to make up for the last match. If you guys didn't see it, it was her against Rhea. Dom was trapped in a shark cage. And just the way they booked that match really hurt Liv and Rhea, in my opinion. Maybe it's why a lot of fans got turned off of their feud. I don't know. It was just a mess because Dom's hanging from the shark cage. Rhea's in the middle of the ring, about to beat Liv. And she says, "You know what, referee? I'll be back. I'm gonna go beat up Dom instead of trying to win back my title. I'm gonna go just hit Dom like a pinata outside the ring, even though it's DQ and all this. I'm just gonna go do it." And the ref goes, "You know what? You earned this." And it's like, what? What? So that hurt Liv. And then Raquel Rodriguez, who Tears, I told you she was going to join Judgment Day. I told you that. You said not
Yeah,
likely. It happened.
leave me
She
alone.
comes out. Yeah, and she comes out and just I think it was like a missed time or something, but it pretty much just the ref watches her attack him, and then that's it. It was just a mess. So I think Liv could use a win here. Now I could see the argument the other way. Like, do you want to make Nia Jax look so dominant that way when Tiffany eventually cashes in on her? It's you're beating this dominant champion who's ran through everybody. I could see that argument too. But for me, Liv Morgan probably needs this one a little bit more. And like Tier said, Judgment Day could interfere. There are some people who don't like going to Saudi Arabia, so who knows if all of Judgment Day will actually be there. We'll have to see. But for match
Like,
quality, yeah, go ahead, Tier.
point out that what was I gonna say? Oh dear. I was gonna say, like, oh, it's about the shark cage match. Let's be honest. When has there been one time where a shark cage match left the fans okay? Because let's be honest, we had a shark cage match with Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho against somebody for the Universal Belt. I can't remember who Kevin Owens defended against at the time. More than likely it was Seth Rollins. And we also had the Enzo in a shark cage. I think that was Big Show versus Big Cass. I think I'm right on that one. I can't remember a third time.
I think it was a SummerSlam. My bad, go ahead.
But overall, shark cage like matches just never work. I don't know why people think they do.
Yeah, it didn't
That's all
work
I got.
here either. It was just tons of mistiming. Made Rhea look like an idiot. Made the ref look like an idiot. Just not the best match. I mean, obviously you can't hit a home run with them all. So what can you do? But hopefully this match is somewhat enjoyable. So let's move on to the United States Championship. Now Andrade and Carmelo Hayes recently on SmackDown had their Game 7 match. The series is tied 6-6. They've been doing a best of 7 series. LA Knight was special guest referee. Match wasn't really all that. I mean, the crowd was into it, but it didn't really go that long. Pretty much LA Knight attacked them both. And, Nick Aldis is backstage with LA Knight, and he says, oh, you want to make it all about you? You just got yourself set up in a triple threat at Crown Jewel. So it's going to be LA Knight against Carmelo Hayes against Andrade. I think this could be a very good match. So, Tears, who do you think wins this match, and what are your thoughts on it?
I generally think like when it comes to outside of the main event, when we get to that, we'll get to that. I think this match is the second one that has the potential to be the match of the night. But I'm going to be honest, I still believe in the whole this pay per view doesn't matter. So I'm going to have to go LA Knight retains the US belt. But a close finish is very possible. Like if they can find a way to make it to where like they could somehow make it to where the next pay per view is another triple threat between these three, and that's the one that where LA Knight loses the belt. I can see that happening. Or maybe LA Knight screws over one of the opponents who's about to get a close call, and then we get whoever does not get pinned is the one that LA Knight fighting in the next pay per view.
Yeah, I can see that as well. I don't really see Andrade or Carmelo Hayes winning this match here. Now, Triple H has heard some of the noise that he hasn't pushed enough black talent in the company. I think that's why he's been pushing Last Legend and that tag team, and he's been putting more emphasis on Belair and Cargill. He's really Triple H said it doesn't matter what color your skin is. He sees talent. He sees talent. I've heard since fans have been criticizing his booking of black talent that he's starting to push Carmelo Hayes a little more. So I'm going to go with Carmelo Hayes gets the win here. I know that's a little surprising for people to hear, but I've heard some things. Maybe Carmelo Hayes is going to start getting a bigger push on television. And yes, LA Knight hasn't had the title that long, but he's also a guy, in my opinion, that doesn't really need the title. He's over without it or with it. So I'm going to go Carmelo Hayes. That might surprise a lot of people, I know, but that's for me here.
Just to be, I kind of do want it to be Andrade, but that's just personal bias.
Yeah, Tears is a big Andrade fan. I actually have enjoyed the way they booked Andrade since he's came back. Really, in AEW, he was just kind of just there with and that's the case with a lot of talent in that company right now, unfortunately. So it's good to see him back and getting pushed pretty decently so far. I mean, he's been involved in one of the big best of 7 matches on SmackDown with Carmelo Hayes, and they've all been great. So good to see. So speaking of SmackDown, big feud, Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. Randy came out on SmackDown. He demanded a match against Kevin Owens. He's telling the crowd and Triple H, stop protecting Kevin Owens for me. And he demands Triple H come out here, and Triple H goes out. And, Triple H is saying, I'm not protecting Kevin Owens from you. I'm protecting you from Kevin Owens. He's saying Kevin Owens has a look in his eyes that's very dangerous. He hasn't seen that look in his eyes in years. And Triple H basically said, you came back from a potential career-ending back injury, Randy. We don't need you out any longer. Kevin Owens could potentially really hurt you. You don't want to put yourself in the ring with him. He's dangerous. You should know all about that, all that. And pretty much Randy said, I didn't call out Paul Levesque. I didn't call out the CEO of a billion-dollar corporation. I called out Triple H. You should know all about injuries and coming back and having big-time feuds. And Triple H eventually gives in after the crowd chants, RKO and all that. So that's how we got this match. Randy Orton against Kevin Owens. Now I'm surprised KO's doing this show because KO doesn't do a lot of Saudi Arabia shows. He's done very few, so this is surprising to see. So Tears, what do you think about KO against Randy?
I remember we had a little bit of discussion about this, and I believe we both came to the conclusion that Randy Orton doesn't really have anything to gain from this one. And I will say, Triple H did bring up a solid point that, like, oh, Kevin Owens can hurt you. Because let's remember Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho has two moves that he can no longer take: the one winged angel from Kenny Omega and the apron powerbomb from Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens' moveset can definitely mess up Randy Orton's back. So I can feel like that's going to be something that bites Randy, like, biting him back for his comments. Because let's be honest, Randy Orton has a history to also like say things that does not go well for him afterwards. So I'm gonna say Kevin Owens, and plus like it helps Kevin Owens too, because Kevin Owens has been like on a good run ish right now as a heel. So I feel like just having him lose to Randy Orton in a situation that doesn't really need him to lose, because with Cody he kind of did need to lose. So I'm gonna have to just say KO.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with KO too, just because they just turned him heel. Like me and Tears talked about, like you said before. I mean, Randy doesn't really need a win here. And KO, if they're going to make him sound like he's dangerous and he's got this look in his eyes, like he's just going to beat everybody up and he's that Kevin Owens of old, like he did with Sami Zayn in NXT, he don't care about anybody but himself. I think KO should make a statement here, destroy Randy, make it where Randy is off TV for a few weeks to sell, like they did with Punk and Drew, where they had such a devastating Hell in a Cell match that both of them have been on TV since. Well, Punk was on TV that night after, but he pretty much said, like, I'm going to go home for a few months or a few weeks and I'll be back. Like, have KO make a statement, beat up Randy, go after his back, do a powerbomb on the apron. That way people know Kevin Owens means business. And if he's going to go after Cody next, which I do think they're setting that up again since he attacked Cody, send a message to Cody being like, listen, man, I'm not your friend. And I'm here to win championships. I'm here to beat people up. And I'm that old Kevin Steen, Kevin Owens guy. I think that would be a perfect way to really make it seem like KO is a serious heel right now. So, yeah, Kevin Owens all the way for me. I hope it's a good run for him. I don't expect any championships, but he's needed this heel turn for a while. Him as a baby face, he just wasn't. Obviously, the fans are always going to cheer Kevin Owens. He's great, but like as a
It wasn't
babyface, he just
clicking.
doesn't have to offer. No, I'm sorry, too. Go ahead.
I was saying like it just wasn't clicking, like him being a baby face. I mean, he can do a baby face, but he just can't feel like Kevin Owens if he's just being a baby face.
Yeah, he's not that guy when he debuted where he's like, I'm better than all of you guys. I'm Kevin effing Owens. Like I'm the whole effing show, all that. Like so, yeah, Kevin Owens for me. So next match, this has been a feud that I've honestly enjoyed. I thought it was great when they had Bronson Reed destroy Seth Rollins. It honestly made Bronson Reed get taken seriously as a main event or potential main event star. I mean, he destroyed Seth Rollins, took him off TV. Then Seth Rollins came back during him and Braun Strowman's last Monster Standing match, which was very good. He ends up curb stomping Bronson Reed on the stairs or on the steel steps and helps Bronson Reed win the match. And now we're getting this first real fight between these two, and these two have bad blood. They really want to beat each other up. So, Tears, who do you see taking the win here between Big Bronson Reed and Seth frickin' Rollins?
I think it mostly just depends on how well Rollins' body is doing right now, because he is once again putting himself in a situation to where, like, dude, you're gonna get yourself hurt again. But I guess I I can see Rollins winning, but like Orton, I don't see it gaining anything for him. Like, but then again, if Bronson Reed wins, and that's it of the feud, and the Saudi show is not a feud-ending show, so I guess I'm gonna lean probably towards, unfortunately, Rollins, because the reason I say unfortunately because it takes away what my comment about Kevin Owens like momentum right now. Like Randy doesn't need to win, Rollins doesn't need to win either. But I can't imagine like the feud continuing like if Bronson Reed wins. So I'm just gonna have to say Rollins, and then the next pay per view is where it actually matters.
So Tears is going Rollins. I'm going to go opposite. I'm going to go Bronson Reed. I think they're going to have a best of three match between these two. And the next pay per view is, I believe, Survivor. Yeah, War Games. I don't know if either one of them are going to fight each other there. Maybe they have a match on Raw. I don't know what they're going to do for Survivor Series War Games because maybe they put this match on the card. They're not really doing like a champion versus champion theme anymore. It's more about like just, you know, 5v5 War Games, and we obviously, or 4v4, which we obviously know is going to be new Bloodline versus OG Bloodline. So that's going to be like the main event. So I do think Bronson Reed could use a win right here. They've really been building him up very well. I've really enjoyed Triple H because Triple H, it was his idea to have Bronson Reed do all them tsunamis. And Bronson Reed even said, I think he's on Chris Van Vliet's podcast, and he was talking about like, you know, the crowd didn't say nothing the first time, but once I did like 3 or 4 of them, they were like into it. And he gave Triple H like a lot of credit for giving him that idea to do that. Like, send a big message. This is a big star you're going against, or you're beating down here. So yeah, Bronson Reed, he wins here. Rollins wins the next match. I'm not sure who wins the feud. If I had to vote, I would vote Bronson Reed, but I know Rollins is super over, and they're really careful with who he loses feuds to. But Rollins also is a guy, which I don't think enough people give him credit for. He's not afraid to put other guys over. He's done it a lot. He's made other guys look like $1 million in the ring. So I think he'll do that with Bronson Reed here. So I just hope for a good match between these two. So women's tag titles. This is probably the match I could care less about, really. I mean, I'm not against the women's tag titles. It's just a fatal 4-way women's tag title match just sounds like a complete disaster. So I'm gonna name off the teams. We got obviously the champions, Belair and Cargill. We got Chelsea Green and Piper Nevin. We got the new tag team, or new main roster tag team, Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend. And then we have Damage Control, Kairi Sane, and Io Sky. So, Tears, who do we have winning this fatal 4-way women's tag title match?
I genuinely do not care. I genuinely do not care. I'm if I'm having to be unbiased, I'm gonna say Belair and Cargill. Like, there's nothing that shows that they need to change the belts to whoever else. If I'm to be biased, I'm gonna have to say Damage Control because I personally like them more. I like both of them a lot more. Uh, I generally don't have anything to say about this. It's just a modge pit of people. Like, what is there to add? It's literally like the definition of just, hey, you all are here. Here's a match. That's all I gotta say about it. It's just here's a match.
Yeah, it's kind of just a match they thrown on the show. I mean, listen, a lot of fans have complained Triple H only does 5 matches per show or premium live event. He put 6 on this show. So for all you complainers, this is probably the match he added just so y'all would shut up about this. There's only 5 matches on each pay-per-view and all this other stuff. So hey, I don't want to hear anybody complain about 6 matches now. All y'all have been, I've read comments online about that's all everybody complains about. There's not enough matches on the show. So he put more here. Yes, some of the matches probably aren't needed, but Triple H, we talked about this on the podcast before. He reads social media and he hears what fans are saying about his product. So he's probably seen that and went with the here. So for the winner, Belair and Cargill. I mean, they just want him back from. God, I can't think of the tag team. I honestly can't think of it. I know they have a tag team name. It's Kaylee Ray and Isla Dawn. I know she's not going by Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. That's their name. I just couldn't think of it right there. They have a tag team name, but I don't know. Their reign was so bad, I barely pay attention to them. I like them both, but it's just like, but they just want them back from them. Don't really see them losing yet. I think they're going to save their breakup till WrestleMania. I think they're just going to have them have a tag team title reign, and they either have a match against each other at Mania, or maybe Charlotte comes back and faces one of them. I've been hearing a lot of Charlotte rumors that she could be back soon for a big Mania match. Her and Belair have been talking about how they both want that match. So we'll see. But I think this is kind of just really just trying to keep Belair and Cargill in the mix. And neither one of them are going to win a singles title anytime soon. So this is kind of their way of being like, you know what, we'll give you the tag titles for now just to give you something to do. But long term, this tag team is not the plan. So yeah, this match is just on the card. So main event, champion versus champion. Gunther against Cody Rhodes. Now, I love the idea of this match. I think it could be a very good match. Yes, it's for the men's Crown Jewel Championship, and nobody gives, a crap about it. I don't either, but I do like this match, Gunther against Cody. I think this match could be very good. I hope to God that they don't have Goldberg interfere in it like I've been hearing, but it is Saudi Arabia and they probably want Goldberg, and they did have Gunther and Goldberg have a stare down and all that, so that wouldn't surprise me. So Tears, who do you see getting the win here, Gunther or Cody Rhodes?
Probably. Would I have Gunther lose a match? I don't think so. I have so many issues with them doing these type of matches. Like, oh my god, this is like one of those situations where like, why do you put yourself in this type of situation? Because either there needs to be interference. There needs to be interference, so that way at least both your world champions look good after the match. Uh oh god, that does relate to the Goldberg thing that you mentioned. Oh god. Okay. If we're gonna have a situation where there's interference for the Boston to be good, then I think it would be best if Gunther wins due to the interference. So that way, sure, you can book Cody versus Goldberg, and Cody can somehow get a surprising win over Goldberg. I'll be okay with that. Makes no sense for Goldberg to attack Gunther. Well, I guess it kind of does. Actually, we'll go with the Bret Hart, like mentioned too. That would be funny, actually. Um, but without it, there's nothing you can do about these. I don't like world champion versus world champion matches. They are frustrating to book. I'm gonna have to say Gunther wins. That's the best I can give.
Yeah, this is tough. Like when it comes to Chambers champion, I do agree it's hard to book a winner because it's like, okay, one champion's gonna look weak compared to the other, and then it's like Triple H says there must be a winner, so there's gonna be no DQ ending or anything like that. I mean, I hate the idea of Goldberg interfering, but it makes a lot of sense for him too, especially after him, having a stare down with Gunther and then the Bret Hart comment, and like part of me, if like it, so Goldberg, I keep hearing wants to have a final match. And if it's against Gunther, I don't hate it. I just feel like him against Braun Breaker to me would make more sense for his final match. I feel like Braun could use a win over a legend more than Gunther. And, they're very close, Goldberg and Braun Breaker. So I feel like that relationship could be good for the match too. But
I
yeah,
just
I
unfortunately
agree.
don't feel Braun is on that level yet to be fighting Goldberg. Like I like Braun, but I have to say, like, if Goldberg's gonna fight anybody, it has to be the world champion. At that moment, like whoever the world champion is, that's where Goldberg needs to remain. Goldberg can't be anywhere else but in the world title scene. His name's just too big.
Yeah, he's a big star, whether you like him or not. I mean, he's Goldberg. So yeah, I mean, I could get that argument against like him facing Braun Breaker, but man, him interfering in this match would be kind of a downer. I get it from a booking standpoint, but it's like, I mean, I don't really know who else
Like
interferes
who?
unless KO comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, maybe KO comes out and attacks Cody and interferes and helps Gunther. And Ludwig Kaiser, maybe he interferes. I mean, I don't really know what else they could really do besides the Goldberg stuff. So I'm gonna go Cody gets the win. They set up Gunther and Goldberg maybe at War Games or maybe at the Rumble or somewhere down the road just to get Goldberg and him done. And that's it. I mean, I don't really see any other scenario. I mean, I don't know. That's a tough match to book. So we'll just have to
I'm
see.
saying
I
Gunther.
mean,
I'm saying Gunther wins, and we set up Goldberg versus Cody.
that would be something. Yeah, that could see either way. I mean, that'd be quite the swerve they did that. So we'll
I
just have to
feel like
wait and
they
see.
really want to make it big. That's what I'm saying. Sorry.
No, apologies for the echo, by the way. Sometimes I try to mute my mic. I think it's because my tablet can sometimes have an echo, so I apologize if there is an echo. But yeah, like there's a lot of scenarios they can go with here. Ludwig Kaiser, Kevin Owens, Goldberg. Those are really the three that make the most sense. Cody's not involved with the bloodline anymore, so they wouldn't be out there. They're involved in their own stuff. So yeah, those three are the only three I see interfering. I feel like Ludwig Kaiser wouldn't really be a big enough as interference to cost Cody. I feel like that'd be kind of stupid. I like Ludwig Kaiser, but he's not a big enough star to really make that much of a difference. So yeah, Goldberg interferes, but we'll have to see. So I hope you guys enjoyed our Crown Jewel predictions. I think it's going to be an interesting show. Will be a great show. We'll see how it goes. Tears, any final thoughts from you before we wrap it up?
That hesitation that you just showed in your voice too. That was funny. Just see, but I say match of the night probably without any repercussions is going to be the triple threat U.S. title match. But I could be wrong. Who knows? Maybe we do get surprised and one of the other matches becomes really popular. Maybe Rhea interferes in the Nia versus Liv match. Maybe this, maybe that happens. Who knows? This is the one pay per view to where like you can do so little, and it probably wind up better than what people expected.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, it could be a good show. We'll just have to wait and see. I mean, I hope you guys enjoyed us talking about it. Comment your thoughts and opinions down below. Make sure to like and subscribe for more wrestling content we post every week. Peace.